something that one will have to wait and watch, perhaps on the first, when you have all the world leaders coming together. In fact, 10 permanent members, and there are observers who are going to be present there. So it is undoubtedly something that the West will be watching very, very closely, because it is undoubtedly a clear indication of how the global South is coming together. As far as President Putin is concerned, President Putin's visit during the SCO Summit will also be looking at how exactly does the global South really tackle the kind of pressure that has been put by the West at this point in time, and whether at all they are going to crumble under the pressure. These are some of the key areas that one is going to look at. In terms of trade, of course, given the fact that India and China have basically had a framework that has been put together. Not to forget, China happens to be the second largest trading partner of India. And that is something that perhaps is going to be pushed even further. And that's going to be the key focus right now. I'm just going to also give you a sense of, the location where this meeting is actually taking place. This is actually taking place at the northern port city of Tianjin, which is roughly about a few kilometers away from the national capital where I am currently, which is roughly about 2 hours of a ride, a train ride that's going to take place from Beijing to Tianjin. And remember, the fact that this is, after all, a China-led body, the inception taking place in Shanghai, and thereafter, of course, with Russia playing a very important, a key role. The focus is essentially going to be how exactly will China essentially continue with the power projection.
Shravan, on a lighter note, I think while you're there, you should get a selfie stick, my friend. So that's easier to get a better frame of yours while there in Beijing. Shravan is going to be, by the way, live not just on Republic TV English, he will also be live on Republic Bharat. And he's going to do the in-depth coverage in Bangla as well. So he's going to be live on Republic Media Network. So fantastic. Shravan, today the Prime Minister, while in Tokyo, he was with a few industrialists from India. A message also perhaps in that, because when Baba Kalyani was there, because the forging industry, right, and the defense industry, there is a feeling that they are going to be hit 20 to 30% by the tariffs. But the fact that they are going to diversify trade, right, the fact that they were there in Japan sends out a message that we are looking to diversify our export markets. Now, on the export front, what are you picking up from all the people you're speaking to? I know that you're speaking to a lot of experts at 7 p.m. But when it comes to exports, will we take something to the table there at the SCO?
Well, in fact, that was already laid out in the previous SCO Summit, which was basically hosted by India. And that is something, an indication came in from the Prime Minister when he was actually leaving from the national capital, where he essentially indicated what perhaps would be the guiding light of the SCO Summit, which would essentially be that, one, enhanced cooperation between India, China, and Russia. A lot of talks actually taking place, whether at all after the SCO Summit, whether at all there's going to be a trilateral between India, China, and Russia. That's going to be a key feature, something to look out for, because you have the three world leaders coming together on this particular platform. In terms of trade, remember, it is not only going to be limited to India and China, but it's also going to be about Russia. So these are some meetings that have already taken place, because remember, before the head of states actually meet, there have also been the foreign delegates who have actually come in. They've strategized as to how exactly would be the entire agenda put out. So on the agenda, of course, trade, but more importantly, it's also about terrorism and how exactly would you be combating it. For India, there is a lot at stake at this point in time, because this is going to be in the presence of the Pakistani Prime Minister. And the other aspect, of course, being that during Operation Sindoor, India had essentially come out on record to basically indicate the role that was played by China, particularly egging Pakistan, and the fact that Pakistan was essentially provided with intelligence input. These are some sticking points. But remember, right now, it seems the larger devil being somewhere else. So perhaps that would not be one of the areas that is going to be highlighted during the joint summit.
Yeah. What would you say, Shravan? I mean, you've been there for a couple of hours. Given you've covered Doklam in great detail, you've covered Galwan in great detail, right? And everything post and before that, especially on the border standoff between both countries, you've covered it in great detail. Now, has China moved on from that? The people in China, I mean, when you speak to the people there, how are they receiving the visit of the Prime Minister?
Well, in fact, let's be very clear. Both the leaders, the Chinese president as well as Prime Minister Modi, they are, after all, leaders who have branded their entire political career as far as nationalism is concerned. For the Chinese president, remember, this comes at a time when there were a lot of talks essentially happening, whether at all he's losing a grip over his bureaucracy to begin with. But having said that, right now, with the changing circumstances and essentially what Trump essentially doing, that's transactional diplomacy, bringing the two giants together is something that China is, of course, cognizant about. And almost everyone that I've spoken to since the time I've actually landed, they're certainly looking forward to the fact that these two giants are essentially coming together, which would send a message to the West, because one will actually wait and watch to see how exactly President Trump responds to this. Because earlier, if you remember, on the sidelines of BRICS, when the meeting took place between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin, immediately thereafter, there were multiple messaging that was done by President Trump. So one thing that someone will be looking forward to, the analysts are looking forward to, is what would be the response of the West to begin with. And let's not forget, it just does not end with the SCO Summit. China has essentially planned out a full-fledged power projection. Never before have we actually seen 26 foreign leaders actually coming together and participating in the Victory Day parade, which is going to take place in Beijing on 3rd of September. And you name it, almost all the Central Asian leaders are going to be present. President Putin is going to extend his trip. So he's not only staying for the SCO Summit, he's also going to stay back for the Victory Parade that's going to take place on September 3rd. So a lot in terms of geopolitics essentially going to happen, Niranjan, in the days to come. And the response is going to be extremely, extremely interesting to watch.
Yeah. Shravan, just one question before, we'll free you for a few minutes. I'll just play a few sound bites of the Prime Minister as well after that. The fact that Vladimir Putin is also going to be there, Putin is going to be there. And it's a big deal because it will be the first time and a very rare visit outside of Russia. He's going to be moving out of Russia after a very long time. Of course, he went to Alaska, but he rarely these days moves out of Russia. The fact that he's going to be there, along with Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi, the optics of it, the triad in Tianjin, I mean, what is the message that all three countries will be looking to send from there? If you can tell our viewers on why it's significant, especially with Putin being there.
Well, for the longest time, United States of America always thought that transactional diplomacy is their forte, and perhaps they're going to push through it. Weaponization that has essentially taken place of a trade. Now, this is something that the Global South has essentially understood, and that is one of the reasons why that you see coming together of India, China, and Russia. Let's not forget that it is also a sort of a response really coming in from the fact that you perhaps cannot egg these two countries any further. And that is the message that is going to be sent across when you have the triad basically coming together. If at all, a trilateral actually takes place, let's not forget the road to Ukraine actually now goes through New Delhi. And that is something that perhaps Indian diplomats are extremely aware of and not really letting that go. As far as the tariffs are concerned, which was basically indicated that it was only because of the Russian oil that was being bought, that has been completely rejected. That is also likely to come up in the whenever the meeting takes place in Tianjin, with respect to how exactly each of these countries would essentially do everything that is required to ensure that their national interest is not compromised. And that is the reason why all these three countries, India, China, and Russia, would essentially be working towards their national interest in terms of the agenda finalization.
Okay. Shravan, stay with us. The Prime Minister is in Japan today, and he spoke to the business community there and to the Japanese government and in the industry, accompanied by big industrialists from India as well. And here's the message that they sent out. Well, the Prime Minister, while in Japan, made a pitch for making in India and making for the world. Listen in.
आज हमारी चर्चा प्रोडक्टिव भी थी और पर्पसफुल भी थी। हम दोनों एकमत है कि विश्व की दो बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्थाओं और जीवंत लोकतंत्रों के रूप में हमारी साझेदारी केवल दोनों देशों के लिए ही नहीं बल्कि वैश्विक शांति और स्थिरता के लिए भी अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। स्ट्रांग डेमोक्रेसीज आर नेचुरल पार्टनर्स in shaping a better world. हमारी साझेदारी के लिए मैं भी कुछ सुझाव बड़ी नम्रतापूर्वक आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूंगा। पहला है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। ऑटो सेक्टर में हमारी भागीदारी बेहद सफल रही है और अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसका विस्तार से वर्णन किया। हम साथ मिलकर वही मैजिक बैटरीज, रोबोटिक्स, सेमीकंडक्टर, शिप बिल्डिंग और न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी में भी दोहरा सकते हैं। साथ मिलकर हम ग्लोबल साउथ, विशेषकर अफ्रीका के विकास में अहम योगदान दे सकते हैं। मैं आप सबसे आग्रह करता हूं, कम मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड।
Prime Minister Modi is in Japan for the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, kick-starting his visit this morning to Japan. The Prime Minister also met members of the Indian community who were awaiting his arrival in Tokyo.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a two-day visit to Japan at the invitation of his counterpart Shigeru Ishiba. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, kick-starting his first standalone visit to Japan in 7 years. PM Modi also met members of the Indian community who had been awaiting his arrival in Tokyo. Japanese artists prepared cultural performances to welcome PM Modi. The Prime Minister also received a guard of honor in Tokyo. The summit is expected to focus on deepening economic and investment partnerships while also enhancing cultural ties between the two nations.
I'm headed to the northern port city of Tianjin in China to cover the largest ever SCO Summit in history. This would be the Prime Minister's first visit in 7 years since the border clashes began. Will the global South solidarity reset the equation with the West? Will there be a trilateral between India, Russia and China? Answers to all these questions and much more only on Republic TV as I get you minute-to-minute update from China.
Here we didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%, I think. Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power.
During an interview, American economist Richard Wolff called out the US administration for attacking India with tariffs and shooting itself in the foot by doing so. Wolff said that India is central for trade and that it will find other places to sell its exports if the US gets shut off. Wolff said that India is now, according to the United Nations, the largest country on earth. The United States telling India what to do is like a mouse hitting his fist to an elephant. India will find other places to sell its exports if the US is shut off to India, and the move will only strengthen the BRICS nations. But like Russia found another place to sell its energy, India will sell its exports no longer to the United States but to the rest of the BRICS. India has a long-standing relationship with the US since the Soviet era, and you are playing with a very different adversary. But for those with some humor, it will be the spectacle of the United States acting like it's the world's tough guy, as what it actually does is shoot itself in the foot. On August 27, Trump's 50% tariff imposition took effect on many Indian products. The tariffs are meant to punish New Delhi for buying Russian oil. Trump has raised pressure on India over the energy transactions, a key source of revenue for Moscow's war in Ukraine, as part of a campaign to end the conflict. New Delhi has criticized Washington's move as unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. PM Modi has repeatedly ensured his citizens that the tariffs will not heavily affect the people and that the administration will take care of the aftermath.
हमारे लिए अपने किसानों का हित सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है। भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के
Floods wreck India again. Politicians debate caste again. Are lives less important than vote banks? Houses gone, villages submerged. Where is the development? Debating at 8 p.m.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Today, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions, we will never be allowed to hold him, talk to him, play with him, and watch him grow into the wonderful young man he was on the path to becoming.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice.
Families in Minneapolis are mourning. Our Greater Annunciation Fellowship is mourning. Our entire city is united in grief, and at the same time, based on this incredible group of people that has assembled here in City Hall, we are also united in action.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph!
We need a statewide and a federal ban on assault weapons.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for
We need a statewide and a federal ban on high-capacity magazines. There is no reason that someone should be able to reel off 30 shots before they even have to reload. We're not talking about your father's hunting rifle here. We're talking about guns that are built to pierce armor and kill people.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
watching Republic TV with me, Akanksha Khajuria, and this evening we bring you top 6 stories of the day, 6 stories that matter and you should know about. First up, Prime Minister is in Japan today, from where he gave a direct message to the United States that India is growing and will soon become the third largest economy of the world. And next, a day after Prime Minister Modi and his late mother were abused during a Congress rally in Bihar, BJP and Congress worker clashed in Patna today. BJP demands apology, and then we will show you the devastating visuals coming in from Uttarakhand, where the monsoon continues to wreak havoc, and then to Mumbai, where Marathas are now demanding the OBC status. Thousands have gathered to press for this demand, and we'll give you more updates on this as well. And then to the much-awaited SCO meeting in China in just another 2 days, where Prime Minister Modi, Chinese and Russian President will be meeting, and Republic TV is there on the ground. And lastly, so-called legendary American F-16 fighter jet has crashed yet again. These are the top 6 stories that we're tracking for you this evening. Let's get started. Prime Minister Modi has arrived in Japan today for a 2-day visit to attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit. The visit is packed with strategic talks, big-ticket investment and a strong message to the United States. Here's what Prime Minister Modi said in Japan.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Tokyo on a 2-day visit. A rousing welcome from the Indian diaspora with Gayatri Mantra, folk songs and a show of cultural pride. PM Modi's first stop, the India-Japan Economic Forum, where he made a powerful pitch for India as the global investment destination.
जापानी कंपनियों ने भारत में $40 बिलियन से ज्यादा का निवेश किया है। मात्र पिछले 2 वर्षों में $13 बिलियन का प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ है। JBIC कहता है कि भारत सबसे प्रॉमिसिंग डेस्टिनेशन है। जेट्रो बताता है कि 80% कंपनियां भारत में एक्सपांड करना चाहती है और 75% ऑलरेडी मुनाफे में है। यानी इन इंडिया कैपिटल डज नॉट जस्ट ग्रो, इट मल्टीप्लाइज। S&P ग्लोबल ने 2 दशक बाद भारत के क्रेडिट रेटिंग अपग्रेड किए हैं। द वर्ल्ड इज नॉट जस्ट वॉचिंग इंडिया, इट इज काउंटिंग ऑन इंडिया।
Even as India-US ties face headwinds over trade tariffs, the Prime Minister asserted that India is on track to become the world's 3rd largest economy. From metro rails, manufacturing, semiconductors to startups, PM Modi hailed India-Japan ties and reaffirmed Tokyo's role in India's development journey.
आज भारत विश्व की सबसे तेज ग्रो करने वाली मेजर इकोनॉमी है और बहुत जल्द विश्व की 3री सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहा है। वैश्विक ग्रोथ में भारत 18% योगदान दे रहा है।
And a big announcement. India opening the doors of its nuclear energy sector for the private participation. After defense and space, the next frontier is nuclear.
हमने 45,000 कंप्लायंसेस रेशनलाइज किए हैं। इस प्रक्रिया को गति देने के लिए डीरेगुलेशन पर एक उच्च स्तरीय कमेटी बनाई गई है। डिफेंस और स्पेस जैसे सेंसिटिव क्षेत्रों को प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए खोल दिया गया है। अब हम न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी सेक्टर को भी खोल रहे हैं। साथियों, इन रिफॉर्म्स के पीछे हमारा विकसित भारत बनाने का संकल्प है.
This visit, at the invitation of Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, is also about the future ties. As the world watches closely, PM Modi's Japan visit signals that India's global ambitions are firmly on track.
And now shifting our focus, clashes broke out in Patna earlier today as the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress workers came head-on with each other, hitting with flags, throwing stones and wielding lathis. This comes in the backdrop of the Congress party facing a national backlash over the abuse and the personal attacks on the Prime Minister just ahead of the crucial Bihar elections. Now, from protests to the political war of words that is going on in the states, here is how the abuse gate is playing out. Have a look.
You can hear the slogans, Modi Chor. These were the visuals from the opposition's Vote Adhikar Yatra in Bihar. The same video that allegedly showed a youth Congress leader abusing the Prime Minister and his mother during a rally in Darbhanga. The controversy has reached the streets of Patna. These visuals emerged this morning, showing the party workers of the BJP and the Congress attacking each other with flags, right at the doorstep of Rahul Gandhi's party. Across India, reactions are pouring in onto the Bihar abuse gate, as it becomes the biggest controversy ahead of Bihar elections. Home Minister Amit Shah is in Assam. He condemned the abusive politics, asserting that under Rahul Gandhi's leadership, Congress has sunk to new lows.
एक घुसपैठिया बचाओ यात्रा जो उन्होंने बिहार में निकाली है, उसमें राहुल गांधी के स्वागत के मंच पर से नरेंद्र मोदी जी की स्वर्गीय माता जी के लिए अपशब्द बोलकर सबसे घृणित काम कांग्रेस के नेताओं ने किया है. मैं आज इस मंच से राहुल जी ने जिस प्रकार से घृणा की स्तर बगर की राजनीति की शुरुआत की है.
Bihar's Deputy Chief Minister claimed that abuse was part of a pattern, saying it's becoming typical of Rahul Gandhi and Lalu's party to abuse the Prime Minister and Sanatan Dharma.
आप गाली गलौज पर मां बहन पर यदि आ रहे हैं तो ये लोकतंत्र के लिए शर्मसार करने वाला समय है. राहुल गांधी को सबसे पहले और तेजस्वी यादव लालू जी के परिवार को माफी मांगना चाहिए. इस तरह की घटिया राजनीति कभी भी लोकतंत्र में नहीं हो सकता है.
इस तरीके से गाली गलौज करना, वो भी देश के प्रधानमंत्री के लिए, ये कतई कोई स्वीकार नहीं कर सकता है. अगर आपको उनके किसी विषय को लेकर ऐतराज भी है तो आप अपने पक्ष को रखिए ना, पर मर्यादित होकर उस पक्ष को रखिए. और कांग्रेस जैसी पार्टी जो कि देश की सबसे पुरानी पार्टियों में से एक है, कांग्रेस जैसी पार्टियों के रहते हुए इस तरीके की भाषा का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. और किस तरीके का गाली गलौज, मतलब ये गली में नुक्कड़ के गुंडे ऐसी भाषा का इस्तेमाल नहीं करते.
BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad slammed the Congress, asking if the party should justify an abuse of the PM's mother, even as its leaders present on the stage at the event simply watched on.
अभी देखा हमने क्या इतना घटिया हो गई है कांग्रेस पार्टी कि भारत के प्रधानमंत्री, उनकी मां जिसने गरीबी में भारत के प्रधानमंत्री को बड़ा किया, अब वो दुनिया में नहीं है, उनके बारे में ऐसे शब्दों का प्रयोग करती हैं. राहुल गांधी की माफी मांगिए.
In response, the Congress party has dismissed the outrage. Congress leader Pawan Khera has called it a distraction tactic by the BJP and a deliberate attempt to derail the conversation around voter rights and electoral integrity.
किसने की टिप्पणी? इन्हीं के एजेंट घूमते रहते हैं, करते रहते हैं बदमाशी और फिर यही मुद्दा बनाते हैं ताकि यात्रा से ध्यान हटा सके। ये बौखलाए हुए हैं हमारी इस यात्रा से। इनकी चोरी पकड़ी गई है, इसलिए बौखलाए हुए हैं। कौन है जो गिरफ्तार हुआ है? किसका आदमी है? किसने करवाया उसने? पता लगाइए।
But some congressmen are outrightly condemning what happened at Darbhanga, showing how disconnected the party's leadership is, split, even on such an issue ahead of the polls.
If you look at the political overtone of this particular incident that has taken place, one, the entire Vote Adhikar Yatra of Rahul Gandhi has fizzled with this particular statement, setting a narrative in favor of the BJP. And this is kind of the template, this is the kind of template the BJP requires to contest elections, whether be it in any state. We are all waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's remarks on 15 September when he visits Bihar.
And now shifting our focus, rain fury continues to wreak havoc in the hills as well as plains. River in Uttarakhand are overflowing. Ancient temples are submerged. Highways are completely cut off and families are trapped after the cloudburst that took place there from Rudraprayag to Chamoli and Haridwar as well. Visuals of devastations are pouring in from the state of Uttarakhand. Have a look at the special report.
Continuous rainfall has pushed rivers in Uttarakhand into a state of fury. Both the Alaknanda and Mandakini are flowing well above the danger mark, turning the Holy Land into a zone of destruction. The ancient Hanuman temple in the district headquarters now lies completely submerged. Saints and sages had to be shifted to safer places as water swallowed the sacred site. In Rudraprayag, 40 to 45 families are in grave danger after a cloudburst. Torrents of mud and debris swept into villages, triggering panic and forcing desperate evacuations. Heavy rain and massive landslides have cut off roads, leaving disaster relief teams struggling to reach the affected areas. Every minute of delay is costing precious time in the rescue operations. In Haridwar, a sudden surge in what was once a dry river shocked the locals. A car was seen helplessly floating in the raging current. Water spilled onto the roads, flowing at dangerous speed. Panic spread across neighborhoods as people ran for safety. SDRF and local administration teams rushed towards Chamoli, where families are still feared trapped under the debris. On the Badrinath highway, the water level has reached the roads. Alaknanda and Mandakini continue to rage above the danger mark, bringing traffic to a complete standstill. And it's not just Uttarakhand. In Telangana's Medak is partially submerged after incessant rains. Shockingly, this is the second time in just 10 days that the sacred shrine has gone underwater. From temples to highways, villages to rivers, the rain fury has left destruction in its wake. With rivers swelling and mountains crumbling, the monsoon continues to test resilience and faith alike.
And now to the state of Maharashtra. In a dramatic turn of events in Maharashtra reservation politics, thousands of protesters gathered in Mumbai today, clad in saffron attire and waving the flags. They marched through the rain-soaked streets there in Mumbai, demanding the OBC status for Maratha community. As their leaders also they have gone on the indefinite hunger strike in Maharashtra. Here's the full story.
Thousands of protesters, clad in saffron caps and scarves, waving saffron flags. The march, led by Maratha quota activist Manoj Range Patel, reached a rain-soaked Mumbai this morning. This as the activist began an indefinite hunger strike at Mumbai's Azad Maidan.
मराठा आरक्षण की मांग को लेकर जो कार्यकर्ता है मनोज जारांगे की अगुवाई में ये निकला हुआ है आंदोलन और तब से महाराष्ट्र के अलग अलग इलाकों से हुए आ रहा है। तस्वीरें देख सकते हैं किस तरह से यहाँ पर मराठा समाज के लोग पहुँचे हुए हैं। इनकी मांग है कि इनको आरक्षण दिया जाए, शिक्षा में दिया जाए, नौकरी में दिया जाए।
Manoj Range Patel declared that he would not end his fast until the government granted reservation for Marathas under the OBC category, a demand that he reiterated with unwavering resolve. As the protest gained momentum, the city witnessed significant traffic snarls, especially in South and East Mumbai. This prompted the police to issue a traffic advisory and deploy over 1,500 personnel at the Azad Maidan. Supporters of Manoj Range Patel also gathered at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus as they protested, demanding a Maratha reservation.
आरक्षण की मांग को लेकर मराठा समाज आज मुंबई के आज़ाद मैदान में प्रदर्शन कर रहा है। मनोज जारंगे के अगुवाई में मराठा समाज के महाराष्ट्र के अलग अलग जगह से जो मराठा समाज के लोग पहुंचे हुए, उनकी मांग है कि आरक्षण दिया जाए, रिजर्वेशन दिया जाए। और तस्वीरें मैं दिखा रहा हूँ सीएसटी स्टेशन का किस तरह से लोग पहुंचे हुए हैं, गाड़ियां रुकी हुई है और भीड़ देख सकते हैं किस तरह सीएसटी स्टेशन पर यहाँ पे भीड़ हुई है।
As the Maratha movement escalates, OBC groups have announced a counter-protest, objecting to Marathas being included in their quota pool. With tensions rising, Mumbai now stands at the heart of a growing quota battle that could reshape Maharashtra's political and social landscape.
And now shifting our focus amid Donald Trump's tariff war, world leaders are set to come together in a show of solidarity at the SCO Summit in China later this weekend. The key SCO Summit will give the way for strengthening of the ties between India, China and Russia, as the Prime Minister will be holding the bilateral talks on the sidelines of this crucial summit. And the talks will happen as India faces US President Donald Trump's tariff hikes amid the mounting American pressure to curb the purchase of the Russian oil. Here's more.
Amid the Trump tariff war, Prime Minister Modi will be attending the SCO Summit in China on August 31, sending a strong message to America. This summit is seen as a show of strength and the efforts to normalize ties between India, China and Russia. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit is set to bring together over 20 world leaders in China. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to hold crucial bilateral meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the summit. The talks will be closely watched by all, coming at a time when India's economic partnership with the United States has been jolted by Donald Trump's tariff hikes on the Indian goods. Remember, Washington recently raised tariffs to 50% on a wide range of Indian exports, including steel, textiles, and farm products. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi's meeting with Xi Jinping will be their first face-to-face encounter in almost a year and comes after recent diplomatic efforts to ease tensions between India and China. On the other hand, the SCO Summit will give China a chance to lead the global south and support Russia, while India will use this to show its commitment to working with multiple countries and finding its own balance in global politics. The SCO will discuss regional security, trade and connectivity with a focus on counter-terrorism and economic cooperation between the nations.
And now shifting our focus, another fireball, another fall. The so-called legendary American F-16 jet crashes once again, and this time in Poland. The pilot dead on the spot. 6 crashes in the last 2 years, with many asking, is America's war machine crumbling mid-air? Here's more.
Another crash, another tragedy. Another question mark on America's so-called legendary fighter jet. During a rehearsal for the prestigious Radom airshow, the Polish Air Force F-16 fighter jet plunged into the runway, killing the pilot instantly. the mighty F-16 reduced to burning wreckage, skidding helplessly for several hundred meters before it engulfed into huge fireball. This was no ordinary accident. It happened during rehearsals for one of Europe's biggest aviation events. Deputy Prime Minister of Poland confirmed the loss, calling it a great loss for the Air Force. But the bigger loss is credibility. The credibility of an American aircraft sold as invincible. For decades, the F-16 was hailed by the United States as the workhorse of the skies, praised for its agility, reliability, and trusted by over 25 nations. But behind the praise lies a troubling record: 6 crashes in just 2 years. With mounting accidents, combat losses, and tragic fatalities, is the F-16 truly a legend of the skies or the most overrated fighter jet of our time, exposing a dangerous flaw in USA's defense capabilities? Yet, America insists this is the most versatile fighter jet of the future. Ukraine alone lost multiple F-16s during 2024 and 25, raising questions over its combat-ready capabilities. Singapore 2024, a catastrophic system failure sent another jet crashing. In South Korea, a power outage nearly killed a pilot, and now Poland adds to this long list.
And this is all we could pack for you in this bulletin of 6 stories at 6. We'll be back tomorrow with more such stories. Till then, keep watching Republic TV. Goodbye.
Prime Minister Modi takes India's assertive agenda to SCO. US trade wars trigger Asian strategic consolidation. India at the heart of a new global order. Debating at 9 p.m.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way. थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
MDH। I choose a world where we dream, and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Here we didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%, I think.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have
During an interview, American economist Richard Wolff called out the US administration for attacking India with tariffs and shooting itself in the foot by doing so. Wolff said that India is central for trade and that it will find other places to sell its exports if the US gets shut off. Wolff said that India is now, according to the United Nations, the largest country on earth. The United States telling India what to do is like a mouse hitting his fist to an elephant. India will find other places to sell its exports if the US is shut off to India, and the move will only strengthen the BRICS nations. But like Russia found another place to sell its energy, India will sell its exports no longer to the United States but to the rest of the BRICS.
Several MOUs and agreements. I think there were about 150 MOUs that have been inked in the last 2 years since the last summit in sectors such as automotive, energy, aerospace, semiconductors, and human resources. And the cumulative value of these MOUs and business partnerships is over $13 billion, which is reflective once again of the confidence that the business pillar has in our relationship. Turning to a couple of other aspects of the outcomes today, supply chain resilience is a subject that both countries have been discussing for some time. There is an understanding between the two of us that there is a need to collaborate more, especially on the strategic sectors of our economy. In view of this, both sides launched an economic security initiative, which identifies 5 priority sectors which will receive concentrated attention from the two sides. These sectors are semiconductors, critical minerals, pharmaceuticals, information and communication technology, especially telecommunications, and clean energy. We have issued an economic security fact sheet, which can be seen on our website as well, which captures certain ongoing collaborations as well as planned collaborations, which will contribute to resilient and diversified supply chains for both of our countries. We are living in the age of artificial intelligence, and both leaders therefore recognized that AI is a revolutionary technology that is poised to transform our societies and economies. Both the prime ministers launched the Japan-India Artificial Intelligence Initiative, which will strengthen collaboration on AI, particularly on things like large language models, data centers, and AI governance. Prime Minister also invited Prime Minister Ishiba for the AI Impact Summit, which India is hosting in February 2026. Both the Prime Ministers today acknowledged that we need to celebrate and also intensify the partnership that is blooming between our states and prefectures, and decided to launch the India Kansai Business Forum and the India Kyushu Business Forum to infuse greater energy into our business linkages at the grassroots level. In a unique interaction, tomorrow morning, the Prime Minister Modi will address the governors of several Japanese prefectures here in Tokyo tomorrow, and invite them to develop partnerships with India. The two sides also today concluded a range of MOUs in sectors such as clean energy, critical minerals, digital technologies, space, cultural exchanges, environment, and diplomatic training. And here, before I close, I would like to mention 4 of these agreements in particular. I think it total is more than a dozen, but I would like to highlight 4 agreements. The first is the implementing arrangement for the landmark collaboration between the Indian Space Research Organization and JAXA on the Chandrayaan-5 mission. This was exchanged in front of our leaders today. The critical mineral sector is a big priority, as I said. Japan has advanced technologies and India has resources. The Memorandum of Cooperation on Mineral Resources, which was concluded today, will lead to much more meaningful cooperation in this strategic sector. Thirdly, the joint crediting mechanism will promote Japanese investments into India and contribute to reduction of greenhouse gas emission, as well as help in India's energy transition. And finally, the India-Japan Digital Partnership 2.0 will strengthen our collaboration in digital public infrastructure, digital talent, and joint R&D in futuristic technologies. You can see a full list of these MOUs on the website of the Ministry of External Affairs. Both leaders also positively appraised the progress that is being made on the flagship Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project and resolved to continue cooperation for the success of the project. They also launched the Next Generation Mobility Partnership, which would leverage the strength of Indian talent and Japanese technology in the infrastructure, logistics, and mobility sector, particularly railways, aviation, ports, and shipping. Tomorrow, as is tradition during the annual summit, the two prime ministers will together travel out of Tokyo. Tomorrow, they will visit Sendai in Miyagi Prefecture. Prime Minister will also visit the Tokyo Electron Factory, which is one of the world's leading semiconductor equipment manufacturing firms. And Prime Minister Ishiba will host lunch for Prime Minister Modi in Sendai itself before the Prime Minister leaves for the next leg of his visit. So once again, to sum up, I think the objective and the ambition of this visit has been to infuse much higher levels of aspiration and momentum into our special strategic and global partnership. And really, this summit has been about greater ambition, a stronger and clearer vision, and a reaffirmation of the strength of the all-important India-Japan partnership. Let me stop there and I'll try and answer a few questions. Thank you.
The floor is open, so please. Yeah, we have a question right behind, yes.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from DD India. There is a reference to a joint crediting mechanism. Could you simplify what does that entail? Thank you.
What is the break? Breaking news development coming in, and that's from Jammu and Kashmir, where the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, has ordered the constitution of a high-level 3-member committee headed by an additional Chief Secretary rank officer, and that's Shaleen Kabra, to inquire into the reasons behind the tragic landslide incident near the Ardkwari on way to the Mata Vaishno Devi shrine on 26th of August. The committee is set to examine in detail the causes, reasons behind the incident and point out any lapses. These are pictures from earlier, but this is essentially about the Lieutenant Governor asking the committee that has been formed to submit its report within 2 weeks on why and how this tragedy panned out that led to the loss of life of a score or more pilgrims. We have Gursimran live, joining us live, in fact. Gursimran, the Lieutenant Governor has set up a committee to inquire into this mishap, but then it's not just about the Ardkwari incident. There have been massive floods across the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen a lot of loss of life and property happening. You think that there could be a larger inquiry following this one?
Yes, now the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, has ordered that a committee will be submitting report to him within 2 weeks. This will inquire the possible reasons for the landslide. But now one change that we have seen, that it is having the senior most officials, including the Commissioner Secretary, Additional Chief Secretary of the Jal Shakti Department, along with IG Jammu and the Divisional Commissioner Jammu. But earlier, yesterday evening, the statement that came from the Jammu and Kashmir government, the LG administration and the Shrine Board, that said that it is not a landslide but a cloud. But now the order that reads that it was a landslide, and the government, the elected government of Jammu and Kashmir, is already demanding resignation of LG Manoj Sinha, stating that he is responsible and he, along with the Chief Executive Officer of the Shrine Board, be booked for the murder of the civilians. So now, after we saw that the Umar government trying to mount pressure on the LG administration, this 3-member committee has been formed and has been asked to submit its report within 2 weeks.
All right, Gursimran, thank you with those details. Essentially, now politics panning out over the issue of floods in Jammu and Kashmir. Moving on for now and on to Uttar Pradesh, where a day after a judicial panel flagged a demographic shift, a riot plot in Sambhal violence of November last year, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has slammed the Samajwadi Party and the Congress, which are in the opposition. He has said that you must have seen how during Samajwadi Party and Congress regimes, Hindus were selectively targeted, how their demography and population were reduced, and atrocities were perpetuated on them or perpetrated on them. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, picking up from that commission report, Judicial Commission of Inquiry report, and speaking at an event in Lucknow. Let's listen to him.
में 24 में वहां पर जिस प्रकार का दंगा करने की एक साजिश हुई थी, उस दंगों की साजिश का कल जो कमीशन, न्यायिक कमीशन बना था, न्यायिक कमीशन ने अपनी रिपोर्ट दी है और न्यायिक कमीशन की उस रिपोर्ट के कुछ अंश सामने आए हैं। कैसे समाजवादी पार्टी और कांग्रेस के समय में चुन चुन करके हिंदुओं को निशाना बनाया जाता था, कैसे उनकी डेमोग्राफी को, उनकी जनसांख्यिकी को कम करके लगातार उन पर अत्याचार करवाए जाते थे, कैसे दंगे करवा करके हिंदू विहीन कर दिया जाता था क्षेत्रों को। लेकिन आज एक डबल इंजन की सरकार है, डेमोग्राफी को भी नहीं बदलने देगी और जो भी डेमोग्राफी को बदलने का दुस्साहस करेगा उसको स्वयं पलायन करने के लिए मजबूर होना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अब बिना भेदभाव के शासन की योजना का लाभ हर नागरिक को प्राप्त हो रहा है। अब तुष्टीकरण नहीं, संतुष्टीकरण के माध्यम से सशक्तिकरण की तरफ हम लोग आगे।
The Sambhal issue seems refusing to die down. In fact, AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has joined issue with the BJP and the Adityanath government on the Commission of Inquiry report and has said that you have a Hindutva agenda in Sambhal and that's getting reflected in the report. Listen to him.
Sambhal तो निशाने पर है बीजेपी आरएसएस के। यह है कि इंसाफ की लड़ाई लड़ी जा रही है और कोर्ट में लड़ी जा रही है। हमको कोर्ट से उम्मीद है, हमको इंसाफ की उम्मीद बीजेपी और योगी नरेंद्र मोदी से नहीं हो सकती, क्योंकि वो लोग तो संभल में जो कुछ हो रहा है, इतने लोगों की वहां पर पुलिस फायरिंग में हत्या हुई है। अब जाहिर है रिपोर्ट क्या आएगी, कौन सी रिपोर्ट में क्या निकलेगा हमको मालूम है ना, तो उस रिपोर्ट से क्या है। आप तो वहां पर संभल को तो एक वहां पर आप जो आपका एजेंडा है हिंदुत्वा का, उसको नाफिज करना चाह रहे हैं संभल में आप, और मुझे यकीन है कि संभल की आवाम मुत्तहिदा तौर पर उस एजेंडे को नाकाम करेगी।
All right, moving on to some international news. Thailand's constitutional court removed or sacked suspended Prime Minister from office after finding her guilty of ethical misconduct over a controversial phone call with Cambodia's former leader. The ruling on Friday makes her the 5th Prime Minister to be stripped of office by Thai judges since 2008. This is in connection with the suspension earlier of Prime Minister P. Shinawatra or Petongtan Shinawatra. She's the daughter of Thaksin Shinawatra and who was also Prime Minister, but she was removed a few months back or suspended rather, and now sacked finally by the top constitutional court of Thailand. All right, that's a breaking news development coming in from Thailand, but we move on, and the next up, a massive landslide. Churn happening in Thailand. All right, that's the picture of Petongtan Shinawatra. She's the daughter of, she's herself now ex-Prime Minister, the youngest Prime Minister of Thailand. And she's the daughter of ex-Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, and she's now been sacked as Prime Minister. Earlier, of course, she was suspended for having a phone call with a Cambodian leader. All right, moving on. A massive landslide caused significant disruption on the highway outside the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee tunnel in Chenani. Thousands of trucks and private vehicles are stranded, with many passengers forced to walk on foot carrying their belongings. Here are the details.
We are reporting right outside Shyama Prasad Mukherjee tunnel. This is Chenani of Udhampur district, where you see people holding their bags, standard vehicles. Some of them are taking journey on foot to reach their destinations, and there are hundreds of vehicles that have been lined up as they are not being allowed to move forward. And these are the vehicles that are stranded here in Chenani. Chenani, this is the part of Udhampur where you see the vehicles are returning back. These are the local vehicles rather, but then there are hundreds of trucks that have been lined up, and these are mostly the essential services that they carry. And similarly, then you see the private vehicles with their families that too are not being allowed to move forward. Similarly, we are seeing the roads, shops here that are shut. No more activities are taking place because Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed heavy rainfall for the last 3 days.
All right, now we are taking a short break, but coming up on the other side, violence between Congress and BJP cadres pans out in Patna, Bihar. Both come to blows on the issue of abuse of Prime Minister Modi at a Congress rally that happened yesterday. Short break, coming back on the other side.
I'm headed to the northern port city of Tianjin in China to cover the largest ever SCO Summit in history. This would be the Prime Minister's first visit in 7 years since the border clashes began. Will the global South solidarity reset the equation with the West? Will there be a trilateral between India, Russia and China? Answers to all these questions and much more only on Republic TV as I get you minute-to-minute update from China.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
Being a legend means reaching a point where no one else has. To give others a dream worth chasing. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living. in my bed.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a decor brand. Live consciously.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
I'm headed to the northern port city of Tianjin in China to cover the largest ever SCO summit in history. This would be the Prime Minister's first visit in 7 years since the border clashes began. Will the global South solidarity reset the equation with the West? Will there be a trilateral between India, Russia and China? Answers to all these questions and much more only on Republic TV as I get you minute-to-minute update from China.
Today, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions, we will never be allowed to hold him, talk to him, play with him, and watch him grow into the wonderful young man.
Welcome back. Union Home Minister Amit Shah slammed the opposition during his visit to Assam. He said that the state cannot be led by people who make frequent visits to Pakistan, hinting at State Congress President Gaurav Gogoi's alleged links with the Western neighbor. In fact, Union Home Minister Amit Shah came down heavily on those who support infiltrators, and his visit is coming in the backdrop of the recent Sayyada Hamid controversy. Let's listen to him.
सबसे बड़ा काम हुआ है लाखों एकड़ भूमि घुसपैठियों से मुक्त कराने का काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने किया है। मुझे बताओ असम वालों, आप सभी जनप्रतिनिधि हैं, घुसपैठियों की कब्जाई असम की भूमि खाली करानी चाहिए या नहीं करानी चाहिए? जोर से बोलो, करानी चाहिए नहीं करानी चाहिए? एक गौरव गोगोई विरोध कर रहे हैं। मैं आज इस मंच से कहना चाहता हूं, गौरव जी, जितना विरोध करना है करिए, ये भाजपा सरकार है। एक एक इंच जमीन को हम घुसपैठियों से खाली कराने का काम करेंगे और इस पर अधिकार हमारे युवाओं का है। गांव चरवाहों की भूमि 3500 एकड़ खाली कराई, वन्य जीवन अभ्यारण्य की भूमि 87,000 एकड़ खाली कराई, सरकारी भूमि 26,000 एकड़ खाली कराई और अन्य भूमि 4,500 एकड़ खाली कराई। 1,19,548 एकड़ भूमि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की हेमंत विश्व शर्मा ने खाली कराई है। और सबसे बड़ी बात है, शंकर देव और माधव देव के सत्र की भूमि भी एक कांग्रेस के शासन में घुसपैठियों ने कब्जाई थी, इसको भी खाली कराकर शंकर देव और माधव देव का सम्मान रिस्टोर कराने का काम किया है।
A major controversy erupted after Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra made an objectionable comment against Union Home Minister Amit Shah during a media interaction in Bengal yesterday. Her remarks came just a day after a Congress platform in Bihar witnessed abusive language directed at Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his late mother, further fueling political tensions. When asked by reporters about illegal infiltration in West Bengal, Moitra said, and I quote, "Amit Shah's head should be placed on the table instead if it's the failure of the Home Ministry to prevent infiltration," a comment that has triggered sharp criticism.
আমি জিজ্ঞেস করছি, যদি ভারতের সীমান্ত রক্ষা করার আমাদের কেউ নেই, যদি অন্য দেশের মানুষরা রোজে শয়ে শয়ে লাখে লাখে কোটি কোটিতে ঢুকে যাচ্ছে, যে আমাদের মা বোনদের উপর চোখ দিচ্ছে, আমাদের জমি কেড়ে নিচ্ছে, তা তোমার প্রথমেই তো অমিত শাহের মাথাটা কেটে তোমার টেবিলে দেওয়া উচিত। যে স্বরাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী এবং যে স্বরাষ্ট্র মন্ত্রক দেশের বর্ডারকে রক্ষা করতে পারে না, যে প্রধানমন্ত্রী নিজেই বলছে যে বাইরে থেকে লোক এসে আমাদের মা বোনদের দিকে নাকি চোখে নজর দিচ্ছে, নাকি কি চোখ মেলাতা হিন্দিতে কি একটা বললো নাকি শব্দ, আমাদের জমি দখল করে দিয়েছে, ভাই তার দোষটা কার?
आज जिस प्रकार की सर तन से जुदा करने वाली मानसिकता का परिचय टीएमसी के सांसद और नेत्री महुआ मोइत्रा ने उसका परिचय दिया है, ये कहते हुए कि देश के गृहमंत्री का सर काट कर उसे परोसा जाना चाहिए। ये वही औरंगजेबी मानसिकता है, ये वही सर तन से जुदा करने वाली तालिबानी आईसिस मानसिकता है, जिसका परिचय टीएमसी के नेताओं ने बार बार दिया। जहां तक घुसपैठियों की बात है तो पूरे देश को पता है कि जब से भारतीय जनता पार्टी नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार आई है तो इंडो बांग्लादेश बॉर्डर को सील करने का काम किया गया है, बंद करने का काम किया गया है। जब ऐसे घुसपैठियों को चिन्हित करके वोटर लिस्ट से या उनको लाभ से हटाने की बात की जाती है तो लगातार तृणमूल कांग्रेस का विरोध उस पर आता है।
Moving on, after Prime Minister Modi's Japan visit, his next stop is China. For the first time since 2018, PM Modi is returning to China for the SCO Summit. His first since the Galwan clashes, in fact, marking a historic moment. The Prime Minister on Friday, in an interview with the Japanese news platform Yomiuri Shimbun, said that his visit to China is an ode to the steady bilateral ties with the nation. PM also said that the steady ties with China are essential for peace in the Indo-Pacific region. This is a major diplomatic statement for both Beijing and New Delhi, as both stare back at Trump's tariff tyranny. Republic brings you ground coverage from China with senior writer Shawan Sen bringing to you these pictures from Beijing.
Whether is it going to be beyond rhetoric is something that one will have to wait and watch, because remember, for India, it's going to be important that a joint statement basically comes in with regards to cross-border terrorism. This would be in the presence of the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. As far as China is concerned, it's going to be fine balancing, given the fact that a lot of efforts have essentially been made to perhaps reconfigure the relationship between India and China. And how exactly is that really happening? Now, this is not essentially because of what many analysts have essentially indicated. It's because of the Trump tariffs. It is something that has been work in progress. Several meetings that have taken place in the last 6 to 7 months between India and China have largely basically focused on the fact that you need to increase the cross-border trade, and trade has actually increased over a period of time. Secondly, how exactly will India and China cooperation essentially be at a time when we are seeing global South essentially being cornered by the West? So the global South solidarity is something that one will have to wait and watch, perhaps on the first, when you have all the world leaders coming together. In fact, 10 permanent members, and there are observers who are going to be present there. So it is undoubtedly something that the West will be watching very, very closely, because it is undoubtedly a clear indication of how the global South is coming together. As far as President Putin is concerned, President Putin's visit during the SCO Summit will also be looking at how exactly does the global South really tackle the kind of pressure that has been put by the West at this point in time, and whether at all they are going to crumble under the pressure. These are some of the key areas that one is going to look at. In terms of trade, of course, given the fact that India and China have basically had a framework that has been put together. Not to forget, China happens to be the second largest trading partner of India. And that is something that perhaps is going to be pushed even further. And that's going to be the key focus right now. I'm just going to also give you a sense of, the location where this meeting is actually taking place. This is actually taking place at the northern port city of Tianjin, which is roughly about a few kilometers away from the national capital where I am currently, which is roughly about 2 hours of a ride, a train ride that's going to take place from Beijing to Tianjin. And remember, the fact that this is, after all, a China-led body, the inception taking place in Shanghai,
and thereafter, of course, with Russia playing a very important, a key role, the focus is essentially going to be how exactly will China essentially continue with the power projection.
All right, short break again, but coming up on the other side, in fact, Shravan joins you live with a panel of guests discussing India-China detente. Short break.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
This is your space, play it your way.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना। आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
What makes you a legend? Maybe that you're followed by everyone. Maybe that you follow no one. Maybe both. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Here we didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%, I think. Trump से बात हमेशा इसलिए करता आया, सीखता आया कि वे राष्ट्रहित के सर्वोपरि रखकर काम करें। Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshalling the full power.
During an interview, American economist Richard Wolff called out the US administration for attacking India with tariffs and shooting itself in the foot by doing so. Wolff said that India is central for trade and that it will find other places to sell its exports if the US gets shut off. Wolff said that India is now, according to the United Nations, the largest country on earth. The United States telling India what to do is like a mouse.
This is your space, play it your way.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो, मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a decor brand. Live consciously.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Today, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions, we will never be allowed to hold him, talk to him, play with him, and watch him grow into the wonderful young man he was on the path to becoming.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice.
Families in Minneapolis are mourning. Our Greater Annunciation Fellowship is mourning. Our entire...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello, welcome. You're watching a very special episode of This is Exclusive. We are coming to you live from Beijing. This is ahead of what China has been touting as one of the largest ever SCO Summit. Let's not forget, it's also 2 other big leaders who are going to be part of the SCO Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin. How are things really changing on the ground? Tonight on This is Exclusive, I not only get you some very special guests who are going to dive into what does this essentially mean for India as well as China, but what's the way forward? Keeping in mind, will this entire global South solidarity perhaps upset the equation with the West? Will that really happen, or what more? All this and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive live from Beijing. But first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking from this side.
और जापान के स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस और स्टार्टअप्स को जोड़ने पर विशेष बल दिया जाएगा। मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड।
India's message to the world from Tokyo: we make in India, we will make for the world. Amid global tariff war, Prime Minister Modi to head to historic Super SCO Summit in China. Prime Minister Narendra Modi backs for stable ties with China, says stable India-China relations can have a positive impact on regional prosperity. India's growth story, unstoppable GDP growth projection for 2025-2026 Q1 at 7.8%. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching a very, very special episode of This is Exclusive live from Beijing, just ahead of the SCO Summit, the largest ever SCO Summit since its inception. Many firsts essentially now taking place. Since 2018, this would be the first visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Are we really looking at a thawing of relations between India and China? What does this essentially mean for the two giants in the Asian market? Will that really change? Will that really mean a much more durable relationship? In fact, we have a very, very special panel that has been lined up for you, give you a sense of what's really happening here. But first, let me tell you, where am I coming live from and why this is also very significant, because I'm going to be headed to Tianjin. That's the northern port city in China where the SCO Summit is going to take place. I'll come to you live tomorrow to get you all the latest updates. But tonight, I decided that let me be here in Beijing to get you a sense of what's really happening in the business district of Beijing and how are things really changing. How are people here? How are the Chinese essentially looking at the SCO Summit? fact, all the newspapers, news agencies have been completely flooded with regards to the SCO summit, and a clear indication as to what does China essentially look at. A power projection in the days to come, not just the SCO summit, but also the victory parade that's lined up on 3rd of September, I beg your pardon. In fact, 26 foreign leaders will be present. Let me quickly first introduce my special guest, Yan, the Chinese diplomat, former Chinese diplomat who's been in India. On my left is Indian businessman who's been here for quite some time. And in fact, his views on how things are really going to change and does that really have a direct impact as far as the Indian diaspora is concerned. He's been here. And well, as a very interesting distinction, when I was first told that he's going to join us on this broadcast, I was also told that he's been to India, and that too for the Kumbh Mela. But there is much more to his profile than he's just visiting India as far as the Kumbh Mela is concerned. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on This Is Exclusive. This is undoubtedly a very interesting moment because for the last few years, and let me begin by asking you, for the last few years, the entire discourse was that we are becoming arch rival. India and China are arch rival. Perhaps they are not going to see eye to eye. Today we are standing together in Beijing, in the heart of the city. I think we are having an eye to eye contact and having a conversation. What does this essentially look like ahead of the SCO?
Yes, I totally agree with you that although the state-to-state relations seems tough and but from the bottom touch of our the Chinese and I believe that even in Indian people that we are friends and we should forever be friends because we just mentioned that we are giant Asian countries, so we should have the wisdom to treat with each other and to communicate to have a peaceful future together. That is the Chinese people's, common people's wish for peace.
Ajay, you've been here for quite some time. Tell us in the last few years, because there was this sense that we are arch rivals, perhaps eye to eye, perhaps things are going to change at the ground. I want to, tell our viewers back in India, as what I said, what is the Indian diaspora right now from the China?
Okay, firstly, to answer the question, yes, I have been long time 18 years. Also, looking at this visit, so, yeah, I did this last and we are hoping that, that they just are able to visit them, also, so I think this is exactly that's
in fact, I'm going to make a focus of what exactly does the Indian diaspora really expect from the bilateral that's going to take place. In fact, bilateral is scheduled for the 31st in itself, so that will be the first big bilateral that we're looking at. Well, before I get into the specifics, the brass tacks of it, Ajit says he's quite excited. How excited are you? Because you've been to India and you've seen how things have really changed. In fact, back in India, there was this entire thing about the fact that, it's rise in nationalism. The fact that, and that is the reason why, for a very long time, the sense that many had to be in India, perhaps you're not going to have that high. That entire thing was not going to happen anywhere else.
Well, yes, I actually visited Kumbh Mela in 2018, and we actually did a road trip across Uttarakhand and across Rajasthan. And I've always been expecting to return to India and go south.
This was when?
That was back in 2018, and soon after that, the tours and visa countries were closed. So I've been looking forward to be able to come back to everything. From an ordinary Chinese perspective, I would say right now the biggest feature for me is that a lot of Chinese people know that India was a great ancient civilization. We learned Buddhism from India, but we know very little about modern because the biological trends are so limited. So I definitely think that Modi, the Premier Modi's visit to China is a great sign to restart our biological relations. And perhaps one of the first things we do is to improve the biological whether for tourism or not. I'll come to the business aspect again. You would understand this as a former diplomat yourself. And the challenges that both sides have essentially faced. It's about trust. The trust between Western countries and only increased since 2018. Do you believe that can be overcome right now? And if so, as a diplomat, I want to ask you this question. What would be the key focus right now as far as the summit is concerned? Yes, very good question. I think I repeated mine. Actually, no matter how it's done, or even India's diplomats in Beijing, that is how China and India should treat each other. I see that we should treat each other just like the normal state to the state. Which means that we never should regard each other as a part of other stakeholders. China and India should treat each other even not as brothers. We should like normal countries to each other, but never be used by other countries. And no matter cultural exchange or finance or trade travel, etc. I think it will definitely benefit also our country's people. Are we coming closer because of President Trump? I think Trump is a kind of enemy, but India also has the wisdom to deal with the India-American relations. So, yes, of course, Trump has a great influence across the world. But India and China's relations should be looking forward. Whether it is influenced or not by the big two countries in Asia, we should have our own style to treat each other. And I think this summit is a very good opportunity for us to sit together. As you mentioned, the eye-to-eye contact. That's the most important. And of course, as a state relations, maybe the leaders, they have their people but as normal people, I think that especially in India and China, we should have much more people relations and dialogues between us, especially the black and the dialogue. It's India's correspondent and not much means people. In terms of the expectations, everyone is talking about people to people diet. Trade should actually, having said that, China still happens to be a second largest trading partner. As a business, what are the challenges that you face? Because it's all good that things are moving, but there would be stuff. Not forget having said that, as a business, the pragmatic way of approach, what would you believe is required right now? I think from our side, I hope, and I think a lot of opinion that they probably seeing the worst of and that communities that of course, we are excited. At the same time, we are taking things to step by step. How things are going to slowly with the visas and how flights and how many people actually coming in. In fact, if you really look at it, the last 2 to 3 years, the businessmen from India are actually still yes, great number. We have the visa that are given out to Indians in India to come to China has been record numbers. However, unfortunately, the visas to the Chinese, they are looking at the so that's where they say that we should be pushing up the rates. Exactly, we should be because we have restaurants and people like the gentleman here. a strong message. The last time we went to India was 2019, and we will go back, we will experience it, but we are not able to go. Whether it's travel or business. So that's what we really talk about, from, the Indian side. Then they can really experience and really good experience Indian like you said, that this experience because somehow the clock was stopped in 2008 when COVID started, and people are kind of, they don't know much to change it. So I'm very happy that it's coming. And I was very fortunate that when he was the church, so Gujarat in 2011, he visited actually church at that time in Chandra. And I was very fortunate to serve at that time because I was working with the church. So I have very, very good, amazing memories of meeting. Yes, so yes, of course. But let me ask you, what have we really lost in the last few years? Not just the fact that we have been able to go back and boom, but what have we really lost? What have the Indians really lost? And what have the Chinese really lost in the last step?
Well, this time I work in the international trading now, but not engaging in the Indian market. So I don't directly engage in the Indian market, but pretty much everyone I talk to is really excited about I think personally think that it's a great thing that Premier Modi has been accelerating industrialization in India. And this trade war waged by America, this piece of insanity that is swaying the international relations everywhere. I think it's a great time for India and China to work together to reshape the supply chain of Asia and the rest of the world. What have we lost in the past 6-7 years is that two Asian economic giants cannot build up effective economic ties. And both of us suffer from that. And I really look forward to like that.
But in fact, there was an indication that was made today by the Prime Minister when he was in Tokyo, when he essentially spoke about the fact that it should be make it in India, but make it for the world. In fact, I want you to first take a look at what the Prime Minister had to say. And then, as you can see right now, we have more people joining us. We perhaps have the largest views really coming in right now, the Indian diaspora. And of course, the two gentlemen who also taken out the time. They've traveled a long way, be with us, and to speak to all of you, to give you a sense of what were we really missing and what perhaps could be the way forward. Before that, first, let me take you through some of the details that the Prime Minister had said. This was a short while back. We're going to play that out in a short while as we prepare that. But let me first quickly get a comment from a gentleman who's joined us. Shanti, thank you very much for joining us. In fact, he's got a business that's spread across. So you would be, I would say in a way, someone who's been at a loss over the last few years if you've seen the kind of relationship that both the countries have faced. I think both of them have spoken about the need for improving the people to human rights, trade, etc. But I want to ask you as an Indian, because at the end of the day, there is a sense, a discomfort that we have been in. How do you really overcome that discomfort? I want to ask you, does the Indian diaspora essentially think that yes, there is discomfort, but we've been able to overcome? What is the sense that I wanted to first understand from you in terms of the relationship with you?
I think over these years, we have not come so much. Yes.
You have 3 locations where you're operating. Beijing, you're Beijing.
So it's good to see that the production is coming, the momentum is coming, and we hope that there will be cooperation on the side of I think with the advent of the switch, here, both in India and yes, the bank because I think that with this cooperation and with this collaboration, definitely.
Thank you very much for joining me. I want to also ask you, taking it from where we left, in terms of the soft power that we've essentially spoken about.
I believe that is also taken a backseat because for a very long time, India played heavily on the soft power. In fact, we witnessed that when President Xi Jinping was in Ahmedabad, thereafter, the relations actually improved. What's really happened? What really happened that we saw here decline? Do you believe that is another aspect that can be touched upon?
I think for now, as I look for now, I think we have our shared history. India and China have their shared history, and we will always remember that. But now, I would say everything looks promising. And yes, as you said, we worked on our soft powers. But from now on, we will go as a
dream for you last year. And also, why don't you tell our audience what you do and how has life in China been for you?
Okay, so we moved with my husband. He works with the pharma company, Dr. Reddy's, very big name in India. So we moved with him. We're an expat family, and we live in many international families. It's been 2.5 years here. And I can say, being around all the international community, I can say China and India are so culturally and traditionally similar. So this was much awaited thing that now they join forces and work together. We know, again, I say there is a history behind it, but we did learn from history and we are not repeating the same which we did before.
So, in the last period, whenever I've spoken to some of my friends who are here, they say that you have a different impression altogether of Delhi. You're missing out. In fact, a friend here just narrated a story. He says that, in fact, when food delivery people come here, his wife gets clicked by them. So almost it felt like it's some sort of a celebrity status that many enjoy. Okay. Tell me a little bit more about, because we do not have that image at all back home. What is it like?
So when we told our family we are moving to China, they were scared. And because China. So they were scared. But when we moved here and we have this first-hand experience, people are so kind and welcoming. And my kids have so many friends here. Chinese, one of the Chinese gets his best friend, so he started here. So I think, and yes, getting clicked, yes, my husband was clicked every time. We have the celebrity feeling here because that time when we came here, it was after COVID. So not many foreigners were scared. Foreigners were actually scared, and we are one of the foreigners here. So we were actually scared. So yeah, we had the celebrity feeling here when people wanted to click us.
Can I just quickly take one word from each one of you in terms of what is it that you all are expecting? Because, of course, as has been pointed out, that we're looking at a people-to-people side, but is there something more specific from the trading community, from the diplomat community? I want a quick answer from you with regard to specific expectation that you have, which perhaps every person is going to be happy because some are already. I'm just around saying that look here, SCO Summit is going to be more about rhetoric. It's after all, you're having Xi Jinping along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Putin. It's more about power projection and under the current circumstances, particularly keeping it at the tariff war. Well, I want to ask you specifically, what are you doing?
I would say supply chain, just like what I did. So the manufacturing sector in the two nations have so much space to operate. And I think there is a misconception. There's a myth, maybe in our Indian friend side, that is America is capable to relocate their manufacturing from China to India. But if you zoom in into this, it's actually, so the American companies barely want to have supply chain cooperation. We should be inciting India, China, right?
We're seeing more cooperation, less cooperation, because if both of the nations come together in terms of broadening the supply chain, it's going to benefit the business community in both of the countries, not realizing that we were perhaps unnecessarily getting into some sort of a competition.
Well, if you look at China's economic history in the past 30, 40 years, the myth is that U.S. invests a lot in China, but in reality, if you look at the source of FDI, if you look at the source of the factories that moved to China, it was primarily from our neighbors. That was Southeast Asia, Taiwan, Chinese Taiwan, which is, a province, and you have a lot of investment from Hong Kong. So we benefited greatly from the supply chain operations of NATO in the past 20 years. And it will be applicable to what happened with India and China for the future.
Yeah, just a quick word from you because I'm running short of time. As a diplomat, what are you doing?
Okay, here I just want to say that I am fortunate is and it just predicts capital that is in China. And what is trend? That is history, and it's also maybe about the Chinese history. That is India and China. The beauty is that culture, history, whatever, most of us has already met, and we should appreciate each other's beauty. That we have a harmonious and rightful appreciation and culture. That's it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on this special broadcast of This Is Exclusive live from Beijing. This is just the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next few days, I'm going to get you every single update, every single significant voice joining us from China as we cover the largest SCO Summit.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
This is your space, slay it your way. थोड़े में ज़्यादा स्वाद ये हित तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
Being a legend means reaching a point where no one else has. To give others a dream worth chasing. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
I'm headed to the northern port city of Tianjin in China to cover the largest ever SCO summit in history. This would be the Prime Minister's first visit in 7 years since the border clashes began. Will the global South solidarity reset the equation with the West? Will there be a trilateral between India,
Play it your way. Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a decor brand. Live consciously.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Dead, and then in a big embarrassment for Donald Trump, another F-16 fighter jet has crashed. 6 crashes in the last 2 years. Then to Thailand, where their prime minister has been sacked by the court over the ethics violation, and we'll tell you what happened there. And lastly, Prime Minister Modi has arrived in Japan, where he received a rousing welcome from Gayatri Mantra to folk songs and more. This is trending. I'm Kanksha Khajuria. Let's get started. It's been 17 years since the infamous slapgate scandal that got the whole country talking, and 17 years that the video has now been released, and it has managed to break the internet once again. The founder of IPL, Lalit Modi, released a video of the infamous slapgate between Harbhajan Singh and SC Sant. And remember how they exchanged a heated moment following the 10th match of the IPL in 2008 between Kings 11 Punjab and Mumbai Indians in Mohali. After the Kings 11 Punjab clinched a stunning 66-run victory over the Mumbai Indians, both the teams were exchanging handshakes, and that is when Harbhajan Singh slapped the former India speedster SC Sant. The video shows a heart-wrenching moment of SC Sant looking distraught after the infamous slapgate incident. His teammate tried to console him as he stood quietly but visibly shaken. The incident led to Harbhajan Singh facing a significant 11-match ban and also missing the rest of the IPL 2008 season as well. And now shifting our focus, a Sikh man was shot dead by the police in LA in United States, where he was performing Gatka, an ancient martial art form, in the middle of the road. The footage on your screen that you can see is of the incident, which happened in July but was released by the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, quite recently. The police claimed that 35-year-old Gurpreet Singh was wielding a machete near the Crypto.com arena in downtown LA and was shot dead after he refused to comply and tried to even attack the cops. However, the weapon that is being claimed by the police seems to be a khanda, a double-edged sword used while performing Gatka in Sikh religion.
Stop it back! Stop it! Stand by! Stand by! Stand by! Stop it back! Stop it! Stand by! Stand by! Stand by!
And now there's a massive outrage with netizens questioning the police. They are even pointing at the fact that the sick man could have had a mental problem and should have been tased instead of being shot. Watch these reactions on your screen. And now to another story. A Polish F-16 fighter jet plummeted headfirst to the ground before erupting into a bright orange fireball. Those are the visuals on your screen of the horrified onlookers shouting and holding hands to their head as the crash unfolded in front of them today during the air show rehearsal in central Poland. The plane rose, twists and turns as it spiraled out of control before its tragic descent to the ground. As it skids across the floor of the plane, in fact, explodes, leaving a trail of thick black smoke in its wake. And now we'll play the moment of crash from another angle. Watch how the jet takes a nosedive, crashes, explodes, and then leaves a horrific fire trail. Unfortunately, the pilot died as a result of the fatal crash as the onlooker watched helplessly in horror. Here are some of the other videos that were shot by the people present at the spot there where the incident took place.
Nie! 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 Ja pierdolę, nie! Co się odjebało?
Hot off the plate and straight to your television screens, here are the top trending stories of the day. Have a look. Russia sank Ukraine's largest spy ship using a sea drone, marking its first successful naval strike. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed the strike on August 28, and the video later surfaced showing the ship being hit. Ukraine has acknowledged casualties and is currently conducting rescue operation to locate the missing sailors. US President Donald Trump has revoked Kamala Harris's Secret Service protection. Under the federal law, former vice presidents are entitled to receive Secret Service protection for 6 months after leaving their office. For Harris, that period ended on 21st July earlier this year, but before leaving office, the then President Joe Biden extended it for another additional year. That directive has now been cancelled by US President Donald Trump. SpaceX's Starship Flight 10 pulled off a historic milestone with a near bullseye ocean landing in the Indian Ocean. Despite suffering the flap damage during the fiery re-entry, the spacecraft that you can see on the screen landed flawlessly, touching down just 3 meters from the target. The president of Argentina has been pelted with stones while campaigning near the capital by demonstrators protesting about the allegations of corruption involving his influential sister. Have a look. And Thailand's constitutional court has removed suspended Prime Minister from the office after finding her guilty of the ethical misconduct over controversial phone call with Cambodia's former leader. A viral video has sparked controversy in the United Kingdom, featuring an Indian student demanding 20 euros from a car owner after wiping his windshield. The student insists for the payment from the services from the driver, while the driver firmly declines, leading to a heated exchange between the two. The situation escalates when the student threatens to block the car. The video has generated mixed reaction online, with some expressing shock at the student's behavior and others questioning the authenticity of the clip, suggesting that it might be staged for social media attention.
Yeah.
So 20 pounds, please.
Huh?
20 pounds.
For what?
I just cleaned your window.
You just gave it a quick wipe. So, like, I'm confused. £20?
Yeah. I mean, it's cost of living, sir.
What do you mean that's cost of living? Who's living in that? You crazy? You just gave my look. First of all, I'm having. You can see my hazards are on. You know, I'm having car problems as it is. You know, I've looked down. Yeah, I've looked up, and you're the one wiping my screen. I didn't ask you to do anything, and now you want money. You crazy?
20 pounds. I need 20 pounds. I just cleaned it.
Okay.
Can I please have 20 pounds?
No, you cannot. I need Kim Kardashian.
You can't go.
Amid the devastating floods in Himachal Pradesh, a striking video has gone viral on social media, capturing the extraordinary moment of faith and resilience. The footage that you can see on the screen shows a lone tree standing quietly inside the Hanuman temple in Kulu, just inches away from the raging Beas river. Actress Gal Gadot is staying away from the Venice Film Festival in the wake of a political row over whether she should attend or not. The actress is the star of one of the films which will be premiering in the Venice this year. But she and her co-star in the film, Gerard Butler, are coming under the pressure over their perceived support of the state of Israel during its military campaign in Gaza. And now shifting our focus, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Japan today for a two-day visit to take part in the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, accorded a warm welcome marked by a cultural performance by the Japanese artists. Have a look. Japanese nationals dressed as up in Rajasthani attire welcome Prime Minister Modi in the traditional way by singing a bhajan. Watch this.
जापान में आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है और हम दिल से आशा करते हैं कि भारत और जापान के बीच और भी गहरी मित्रता और सहयोग स्थापित हो। भारी जाओ रे बलिहारी जाओ रे, भारी जाओ रे बलिहारी जाओ रे, मारे सतगुरु आंगन आया रे मेवारी जाओ रे।
And not just this, the Prime Minister also witnessed a cultural performance as he arrived in a hotel in Tokyo. In fact, the Japanese national even went on to say that अच्छे दिन are here for Japan. Listen in.
बहुत खुशी हुई है, अच्छे दिन मेरे लिए आ गए हैं जापानी लोगों के। बहुत खुशी हुई है, अच्छे दिन मेरे लिए आ गए हैं जापानी लोगों के। बहुत खुशी हुई है, अच्छे दिन मेरे लिए आ गए हैं जापानी लोगों के। बहुत खुशी हुई है।
And the energy on the ground was unmissable. Watch their reaction and then listen in to what the Indian diaspora had to say.
भारत के शेर आए, भारत की बेटी ने भी उनका परचम लगाया हुआ है, भारत के शेर विद भारत के फ्लैग के साथ जापान में। मोदी जी इस बार 8वीं बार आए हैं, मैं उनसे 3 बार मिली, ये 3री बार है। हिरोशिमा में जब वो आए थे और गांधी जी का उन्होंने उद्घाटन किया था तब भी मिली थी। हमेशा उनसे मिलने का उत्साह जो है बढ़ते ही जाता है, क्योंकि उनके आने से हमें एक बहुत बड़ी सपोर्ट और महसूस जो फीलिंग मजबूती की होती है वो है कि उन्होंने बहुत हम सब डायस्पोरा, भारतीय इंडियन डायस्पोरा को उन्होंने एक मौका दिया है अपना फीलिंग दिखाने का कि हम भी कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं। वो चीज़ बहुत मुश्किल है किसी और भी नेता में आपको देखने को। तो ये भारत के ऐसे नेता हैं जिन्होंने ऊंचाई मतलब अपने हमारे भारत को तो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे किया ही है बहुत गर्वित, बट मैं बोलूँगी कि इंडिविजुअल हर सिटीज़न के अंदर उन्होंने अपनी एक ऐसी जगह बनाई है जो कि आप छू नहीं सकते। उनकी जो चाहत है आपने आज गूंज सुनी है पूरे हॉल में। सो भारत माता की जय, जय हिंद।
And the chief priest of Darumaji temple also presented the Daruma doll to the Prime Minister. The doll symbolizes resilience and good fortune in Japanese culture. Watch these visuals on your screen. Getting straight down to business at the India-Japan Joint Economic Forum in Tokyo, Prime Minister Modi encouraged Japanese investors to come, make in India and make for the world.
ऑटो सेक्टर में हमारी भागीदारी बेहद सफल रही है और अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसका विस्तार से वर्णन किया। हम साथ मिलकर वही मैजिक बैटरीज, रोबोटिक्स, सेमीकंडक्टर, शिप बिल्डिंग और न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी में भी दोहरा सकते हैं। मैं आप सबसे आग्रह करता हूं, कम मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड।
And now in a daring and skillful mission, helicopters of Indian Air Force evacuated 9 civilians, including children, from the flood-hit Dera Baba Nanak in the state of Punjab, leaving you with these visuals on your screen as I say goodbye. Good night.
in the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK. Only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जलजीरा मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है?
अरे मेरे राजा,
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%, I think. Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power.
During an interview, American economist Richard Wolff called out the US administration for attacking India with tariffs and shooting itself in the foot by doing so. Wolff said that India is central for trade and that it will find other places to sell its exports if the US gets shut off. Wolff said that India is now, according to the United Nations, the largest country on earth. The United States telling India what to do is like a mouse hitting his fist to an elephant. India will find other places to sell its exports if the US is shut off to India, and the move will only strengthen the BRICS nations. But like Russia found another place to sell its energy, India will sell its exports no longer to the United States but to the rest of the BRICS. India has a long-standing relationship with the US since the Soviet era, and you are playing with a very different adversary. But for those with some humor, it will be the spectacle of the United States acting like it's the world's tough guy, as what it actually does is shoot itself in the foot. On August 27, Trump's 50% tariff imposition took effect on many Indian products. The tariffs are meant to punish New Delhi for buying Russian oil. Trump has raised pressure on India over the energy transactions, a key source of revenue for Moscow's war in Ukraine, as part of a campaign to end the conflict. New Delhi has criticized Washington's move as unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. PM Modi has repeatedly ensured his citizens that the tariffs will not heavily affect the people and that the administration will take care of the aftermath.
Congress rally turned vulgar. Prime Minister Modi abused from Rahul's campaign stage. As Congress's abuse politics speaks, Rahul Gandhi refuses to apologize. Debating at 8:30 p.m.
This is your space, slay it your way. थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा। राजा और प्योर मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना। पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा। राजा और प्योर मसाला।
I'm headed to the northern port city of Tianjin in China to cover the largest ever SCO Summit in history. This would be the Prime Minister's first visit in 7 years since the border clashes began. Will the global South solidarity reset the equation with the West? Will there be a trilateral between India, Russia and China? Answers to all these questions and much more only on Republic TV as I get you minute-to-minute update from China.
Yesterday, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions, we will never be allowed to hold him, talk to him, play with him, and watch him grow into the wonderful young man he was on the path to becoming.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice.
Families in Minneapolis are mourning. Our Greater Annunciation Fellowship is mourning. Our entire city is united in grief, and at the same time, based on this incredible group of people that has assembled here in City Hall, we are also united in action.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph!
We need a statewide and a federal ban on assault weapons.
In another world, an element is born. Introducing the Phantom Black Edition by Grand Vitara. Nexa.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Crumbles as monsoon wreaks havoc across India. Who's responsible, viewers? We are asking tonight. And at 8:30 p.m. At 8:30 p.m. a massive face-off over India's abuse politics. First they abused the Prime Minister. Now they want to cut Home Minister Amit Shah's head off. What's happening? And at 9 p.m., Prime Minister Modi sets the tone. Make in India and make for the world is the message amid Trump's tariff bullying, viewers. Very important, that. Hello and welcome, viewers. I am Ashwarya Kapoor and you're watching the debate at 8. Arnab Goswami is going to be back soon, so don't worry at all. But now, if I could just request if he could play the visuals alongside while I'm speaking. Viewers, a question which comes to my mind tonight is the priority of our politicians misplaced completely? Pradeep, can we play visual 60-40, please? Why am I saying so? That why are the priorities or are the priorities of our politicians completely misplaced? And I'm not questioning this to one particular party, I'm asking the complete political class. The Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, the BJP, the SP, the RJD, and you name it. We talk about becoming the third largest economy, a $5 trillion economy. We are the world's largest democracy, and we want to become the world's largest economy by 37, 45, 48 or whatever year that is. But it only takes 10 or in certain areas just 5 days of rain. And 8 states of India come at a standstill. Why? We were being told that kilometers and kilometers of road is being built daily. We were being told by the Punjab government that ye bhi galat hai ji aur wo bhi galat hai. The Congress doesn't work, the BJP doesn't, we will. So where are you tonight? Have you seen the fields of Punjab? Have you seen the condition in Himachal Pradesh? Have you seen the condition of just after 4 hours of the national capital? Have you seen what has happened in Mumbai? Have you seen what happens in Bangalore repeatedly and regularly? Still, vikas ho raha hai. Development is happening, but where? Is it just on the paper? We are being told that bridges are being built. State governments say, central governments say. But those bridges are washed away in just 1 or 2 days of rains. There's no cyclone. There is no typhoon. There is no tsunami. For God's sake. It's rain. And these bridges, these national highways, these state roads, these state highways, they are built with crores and crores and crores of rupees. Today, if I ask the BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress, the SP, the RJD, any political party across the spectrum, viewers, they're going to raise the finger onto the other. You ask the Aam Aadmi Party, Punjab government, why are more than a dozen districts in Punjab in this condition? Why is Gurdaspur like this? Why is Firozpur like this? They will say, listen, ji, we can't do anything. We can't make water flow in the opposite direction. It's coming from Himachal Pradesh. It's coming from Jammu and Kashmir. One is ruled by the Congress. The other is ruled by, it's a special state. Omar Abdullah is the chief minister, but run by the governor, the LG through Delhi. So please ask Delhi. When they were in Delhi, they used to say, ji, we don't have any power. Punjab is a full state. Punjab is a border state. But it's not only about Aam Aadmi Party. It's about Himachal Pradesh. It's about Uttarakhand. It's about parts of Uttar Pradesh. It's about Madhya Pradesh. It's about Bihar. It's about Jammu and Kashmir. Where is that development going? In 2014, the BJP won on the plank of development. They said we will do development like never before. But you see, in these visuals, I see farmers, not the administration, and that is something which really, really angers me. There is no administration. In Punjab, there was no administration for 14 hours. Those farmers on whose backs the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress did what they had to do in the last general elections of 24, they left those farmers to fend for themselves. You know, bridges were made by these farmers on their own. They are doing their own langar service, no food, no electricity, no roads. Their livelihood, their land, their farmland has been taken away by the river water, and the administration has not worked. Why? Because the political priority of our politicians is completely misplaced. You know, where are they busy? They are busy in a lathi charge in Bihar, because that is where the election is. But they have forgotten, even in 3 districts of Bihar, there is flood. But the Congress and the BJP cadre needs to go at it. When there is a political rally, irrespective of the parties, everything happens. The administration will happen, the crowds will come, the buses will be done, the food will be taken care of, the water supply will be there, the land will be flat, the audio system will be there, everything will be set. Everything will be set. But when the people need it, Rahul Gandhi is busy doing his rally. It's okay, Pradeep. I don't want these visuals. Anyways, he enters into a water field wearing his socks. What can we expect from him? But I am asking those politicians who are still connected to the grassroots. What are you doing? What are you doing? Can't you see that your priorities are misplaced? And like how? Like how? You are unable to understand what the people of this country need today. From Punjab to Bihar, from Madhya Pradesh to Rajasthan, from Jammu Kashmir to Himachal. Lakhs of people and thousands of crores of rupees has been washed away. Why? We are not in 1825. We are in 2025. There are systems in place. There is technology in Delhi. We talk about to prevent, because again the Parali season is about to come. You talk to any BJP leader in Delhi, they come and say, hello, we are creating a system in which we can do artificial rain and prevent pollution from happening. So we are in 2025. We had the Met Department warnings, the state departments, the central departments. We have letters from Met Department coming to the central government, from central government going to the respective state governments. But then what? Nothing. What are your DMs, your SDMs, your state ministers, your chief ministers doing? I know you can't make the water flow in the opposite direction, from bottom to the top. If rain is coming, it will come down. And these are incessant rains. After 88, people are comparing it to the 1988 floods. But have you forgotten, this is not 1988, this is 2025. There are measures, there are steps, there is technology, there is availability of infrastructure. But what have you done? Where is that development? Where are the precautions? It's not that suddenly a river has been created. No, these rivers have always been there. Whether it is Punjab, whether it is Haryana, whether it is Himachal Pradesh, whether it is Uttarakhand, whether it is Rajasthan. Imagine, viewers, and Pradeep, if you could just play visuals of Rajasthan for a minute. Rajasthan. Rajasthan. Close your eyes and name Rajasthan. First thing you see is desert, sand. What is happening in Rajasthan? More than half a dozen districts, 8 to be exact, are flooded. The chief minister is on the ground. I give it that much. That the chief minister is on the ground. The Uttarakhand chief minister has gone to the place where the landslide has happened. But is that enough? Is that too little, too late? What have you done? Where is that development which you so brag about? Because the people wanted that development when this happens. For what have you made those roads to be washed away? For what are those national highways and state highways made? So that they're just washed in 2 days of rain? It's a very simple question. Shouldn't that be asked? The taxpayers' money is being spent on what? Every time, year after year, season after season, we see. In certain areas, I understand. Certain particular pockets, In Himachal, Uttarakhand, Northeast, Jammu and Kashmir, there are certain roads which have to be regularly built up, I understand. But not the Chandigarh Lake, not in Madhya Pradesh, not in Delhi, not in Delhi. 4 hours. It took 4 hours of rain to bring the national capital to a standstill. And Pradeep, you are well versed with Bombay. If you could just play the Mumbai visuals. You want to see the Mumbai visuals, viewers? Bangalore, every year, year after year. It's nothing new. Fields are looking as if they are seashores. Why? Because proper precautions have not been taken. The administration was told. The Met Department did their duty thoroughly. Letters are sent, notifications are sent. Those notifications have been sent in a very clerical way to the central government, from the central government to the state government. But what has happened on it? Uspe kiya kya? As I say, पूछता है भारत. We need to know. The people of this country need to know. What have you done? Nothing. That's why people are building those barrages on their own in Punjab. People are feeding their own on their own. Everything is happening on their own. And if everything has to happen on their own, why can't or why will these people not ask, why do we need you? Irrespective of whether it's the Congress Himachal government, the BJP Haryana Rajasthan government, the Aam Aadmi Party Punjab government, or the newly elected Delhi BJP government, which said that we will not let the national capital in such a situation. We will not leave Delhi in such a situation. We will make it better. And the only counter which comes in from the BJP, and I'm waiting for that in my debate in the next 1 minute, Toin Sena joins me. That in the Aam Aadmi Party's tenure, it only used to take 20 minutes or 40 minutes of rain, and now it takes 4 hours. Is that going to be the BJP Delhi unit's counter? I'm not saying that the chief ministers have to be on their spots, on ground, handling situation. If they are, well and good. They have other work as well. But where are the other? Where is the whole Amla, as it's called? Where is the complete administration? Where are they? Where is the SDM? Where is the DM? Where is the precautionary measure? It's not that it's not sudden anymore, viewers. We need to understand. Comparison with 1988 floods is okay. But in 1988, we didn't have the technology we have in 2025. We were aware of what's going to happen. Still we didn't act, and that is criminal. Whoever that officer is responsible in these respective states, but that is equivalent to a criminal. It's a criminal issue. Please understand. I'm going to show you a very short report, but you need to see this, what's happening in 8 states of the country before our debate. Thank you very much. The report.
The weather is the challenge. Advisory has been issued for the low-lying areas, and so does the adversary that always remains in a bid to destabilize this very area.
Beas River, which is raging with the strength and intensity. In the past 24 hours, in 3 to 4 districts of Himachal Pradesh, which includes Mandi, Kullu and Manali, there has been a heavy destruction due to the heavy incessant rainfall in the past 48 hours.
Here you see the landslide that this area had witnessed, and the road, the passage has been completely got disconnected. The patch that you see now, the government is trying to restore or reconstruct.
Over 40 dead in Jammu and Kashmir. Rivers creating havoc in Himachal. Homes, temples, schools submerged in Telangana. 7 districts hit by flash floods in Punjab. Unprecedented rains in Rajasthan. multiple states across India are grappling with flooding. But the people's representatives are busy with abuse politics. Beating up each other, trying to divide the nation on the basis of caste.
हिंदुस्तान की सबसे बड़ी कंपनियां हैं. मैं आपसे आज पूछना चाहता हूं, इन 500 में दलित, आदिवासी, पिछड़ा, अति पिछड़ा वर्ग के कितने मालिक हैं? मतलब हिंदुस्तान की पूरी इकोनॉमी में 90% तो है ही नहीं.
Attacking the democratic bodies. Today, the citizens of India are suffering as they pick up the pieces. Every year, it's the same story. When will our politicians finally start paying attention to broken infrastructure and focus on the people for once?
Tuhin Sharma of the BJP, Navyan Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party, Professor Badshah Alam of the RJD, Pankaj Sharma will join in. But Professor Badshah Alam of the RJD, I said, but I can promise you viewers, before I go to any one of them, can I have the BJP and the AAP first? If I remove the BJP placard behind Tuhin and the Aam Aadmi Party placard behind Navyan Sharma, I challenge you, both of you, if you give me a different reason. You know why? You know why? Navyan, I'm saying so. You said, Navyan, that the BJP is wrong, the Congress is wrong. It's only the Aam Aadmi Party which thinks about people. Can you just play, Pradeep, for next 2 minutes, the Punjab visuals? Because they are ruling Punjab, right? And Punjab is not like Delhi, it's a full statehood. It's full statehood. What were you doing? What were you doing? And do not say that, Navyan, that center is not giving you funds. I have the papers with me. You want me to quote the money? I will quote you the figures. Your chief minister and the family and 6 other leaders of your party have money to roll in Land Cruisers and plethora of them.